Good morning, good night, good evening, you lovelies. It is the one, the only, Cappy, the Barra. We are here for a review for AEW Dynamite, August 6th, 2025. I had a pretty okay time catching this program. I was able to get a couple of segments live, like the Kyle Fletcher and some of the Jon Moxley stuff with Darby Allin. But, I'm a grown man and I do have duties, so this is going to be a recap of the recap. We'll be starting off this show with a bunch of carny, flippy lucha shit, but it'll also be involved with the story. We get Speedball Mike Bailey versus Jon Moxley. To be honest, I don't even know why they're beefing. I don't even know why they don't like each other. All right, but I'm fucking here for it. I am fucking here for it, bro. This match fucking rocks. There's a bunch of good near falls. There's a portion where Speedball hits like his signature on the on the outside barrier to Moxley, bro. Oh my god, this fucking match sucks. All right, there's a portion where Yuta gets kidnapped by Darby Allin. He gets dragged to the back, right, for this really it's just a really funny segment that we're gonna get to later. Moxley ends up eventually going over. But the chemistry that these two have in the ring is fucking, like, it's insane. It's crazy. I don't know if these two have wrestled in the past, but it works, man. It works and it's fluid. I'm down to see more Speedball Mike Bailey, and I'm definitely down to see more Speedball Mike Bailey and Jon Moxley in the future. As I said, Moxley goes over, he hunts down for Yuta, tries to get some answers, and he finds Yuta in a body bag in the parking lot. And mind you, it's the middle of the day. This is happening. Darby Allin is trying to run over Yuta Wheeler in his Jeep truck, and on Yuta Wheeler's forehead, taped to the forehead of Yuta Wheeler, inside the body bag, mind you, is Forbidden Door. We are most likely going to be getting a Forbidden Door, Jon Moxley something death match. I don't know. I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it. I'm excited. The story has been something that Tony Khan has been trying to wrap up since about last year. So honestly, bro, the faster we get this shit off of our slate, the quicker we can get these guys in a ring with other people, push more programs. I think it's beneficial all around. Moving forward, we have a women's four-way match between Alex Winslow, Billy Starks, Queen Aminita, and Sky Blue. This match also amazing fucking match. Really, really good match. Queen Aminita, man. Woo! She is talk about an ice cream sundae on a hot summer day. She is just amazing in the ring, outside the ring. Billy Starks also is nuts. Billy Starks is an actual psycho. I love it. I'm here for it, man. She has this really solid spot where she crashes on everybody on the outside. We can talk about the match finishing. It does involve a little bit of run-in shenanigans, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Tony Storm comes out kind of just to pervade the scene, and after Athena comes out, she kind of tries to cost the other women the match, being that her and Billy Starks are in a bit of a partnership, if you will. Athena is stopped by Tony. They have a small brawl on the outside. By the way, Tony Storm is doing just amazing. Just like she stands and she breathes, and I'm like, this is a 5-star match. This is a 5-star fucking match. I love Tony Storm, man. Tony Storm's great. Her and Athena, they have their 1-2 outside the ring. I think that was solid. Alex Winslow does pick up the win after she is kind of jumped on. Alex Winslow picks up the win for this match. After Winslow picks up the win, Mercedes Moné, she comes down to the ring. Mercedes Moné is a gift to the fucking earth, man. She comes out with her 8 belts attached to the belts. It's dope, man. It's dope. Mercedes Moné, she's over, and not only is her look solid, but just the premise of being a belt collector. I'm going to go to any promotion, male or female, and I'm just going to keep collecting belts because I look badass, and she looks so fucking badass, man. Like, she's going to go down arguably as one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. Right? I'm saying this to say she comes out and her and Athena have a really solid stare down. That match is going to fucking cook. They had a really good match last time they met up on Spring Breakthrough. I'm hyped, man. I'm fucking hyped. I'm super hyped for this match. Next thing we are moving towards is super hyped for this match. The women's division is fucking hot. It is heat right now, man. And they're showing promotions how you book people properly. Alex Winslow has been in at least 3 consistent matches in the past week or 2, just televised, just out there grabbing, winning matches, putting people over with her moves, taking bumps properly. I can't excuse. I can't hit the excuse of I don't know who this person is, because they keep putting her in front of me, and I'm responding as I should. I'm responding as somebody who's rooting for the rookie. You know, she is the underdog. She's a face currently, right? I think really excited about the future of this women's division, man. Very excited about the future of this women's division. Next, we get a segment from Kyle. Next, we get a segment from the proto star, or as I like to call him, the porno star, Kyle Fletcher. He goes out there and he basically just, buries Dustin Rhodes. I believe Dustin Rhodes is getting surgery, so, best of luck to him on that. But, he calls him like a 60-year-old man, and he says that, he had no place in the TNA. He unveils this new painting with Don Callis, like, holding up the TNT belt on, like, a naked Kyle Fletcher. It was a little interesting. But that segment is leading towards Kyle Fletcher, I'm imagining, meeting up with one of the mid-carders down the line. I mean, hopefully somebody like some Mark Briscoe, maybe even Orange Cassidy can come back, Eddie Kingston, somebody of that fold, maybe even a Powerhouse Hobbs. I would like to see any face that they put against Kyle Fletcher right now, because he is heat, and anything he could say on the mic or do in the ring, I'm in tune for. I only worry that they're going to do a championship run that may run its course, but again, Kyle Fletcher is Kyle Fletcher. Next, we get a segment in the back with Cope and FTR. Cope is having an interview, just kind of just shooting the shit, and he's like, hey, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know the ins and outs of this company. People like the FTR, they're nothing more but a bunch of scumbags, and I know how to take care of scumbags. They have a bit of a stare down with him and Stokely, being that he's not allowed to touch them or whatever. Personally, I always thought that writing was just a little weird, being that eventually these guys gotta have a match sometime soon. These guys gotta lock up. So that's always a little confusing to me when I see like little segments like that, like, hey, you're not allowed to touch me, because if you do, you'll be in big trouble, right? There is supposed to be a match between Stokely and Edge sometime next week on Dynamite. I think we all know how that's gonna go, FTR running, but I guess for what it is, the segment's fine. Stokely, he says that he's been short and bald and unable to get hoes his entire life. And I just thought it was funny. I just think it's funny. Like the characters that these people are playing into when it comes to being like just dastardly unlikable, just like conniving like little fucking like conniving like little jerks. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I'm fairly entertained by FTR as a wrestling group, and I think the manager that they have is perfect for the equation that they're trying to give us. Moving forward, we get the Bucks cursing out the production team, being that the Bucks scenes that they show in the Titantron are just funny, man. They're funny. Like, it's all of their like lost matches, and I think it says like Matt and Nick in like Comic Sans, bro. It's really funny. Their pyro sucks. They can't even get like a proper entrance. It's very funny. It's very entertaining. But this match was awesome. There's a bunch of like really solid spots, not only on the outside, but on the inside. Even the finish to this match was really good. Like, there was, the kind of a shotgun kind of flippity shit that Brodino does. And to finish it, Brody Lee, he stares down Matt Jackson, like he like intimidates him from not getting in the ring. And Matt Jackson is kind of like talking this shit like he assumes that his brother would kick out, but he doesn't kick out. And that's the end of the match. Now we're gonna get Brodino versus FTR for a lead up to this championship match that we're gonna be getting with the Hurt Syndicate and whoever finishes up this tournament. I am so happy with how they have performed during this tournament. Not only Brodino, the AEW, the kind of work that they are putting together with this tag team division, it is fucking amazing. From Jet Speed all the way to the Outrunners, man. I'm pleased. I think if you were to sit here at any point in time, throw the Death Riders in there with Yuta and Claudio, I'm here for it. I'm supporting the fucking things I'm supporting it all the way. There is a lot of really solid things about this match. We get a brief Swerve segment, where he talks about his time at Publix and how he was cut there briefly, but how he found his way back. And now that he's back in AEW, after from being cut from Publix, he's going to hunt down Kazuchika Okada. And Kazuchika Okada is not in the building at the moment. We don't really get a segment from him. But Swerve just kind of calls him out. I wonder if Swerve is going over during Forbidden Door, being that Kazuchika is just over. He's a fresh champion. This is a fresh championship. like he is the first in the lineage of the unified champions, and should his first defense be his first loss? Probably not. But I can imagine maybe he wants to take some time off, being how hard he's been working. Maybe Swerve is looking forward to a run anytime soon. Maybe he's doing his contract. There's a lot of things that can go into this, but I'm looking forward to this match for Forbidden Door. There is a lot of talk going on around pricing and wrestling events. I have a Thriller and a NordVPN, so it's really not that big. It's really not that big of an issue. It's kind of simple. It's kind of simple, all things considered. Not gonna lie. NordVPNs will save you a lot of money, folks. Invest in them. Invest in them immediately. Last couple of segments of the night, we get MVP kind of chin checking JF, telling him that he was way too ego driven and his selfishness was the demise to him getting kicked out of the Hurt Syndicate. And MVP kind of says that's even coming from me. I really like MVP, man. MVP is really putting all the naysayers to shame when it not only comes to AEW, but just alternative wrestling. Like the brand that is alternative wrestling, whether that be New Japan, TNA, even though that's owned by WWE currently, or AEW, is that it's just a bunch of, backwater hick shit, with a bunch of wannabe actors. But there is actual story and there is an actual climax going into all of these stories. Like I'm fairly entertained with the really smooth storytelling that we're getting so far. Everything just flows into itself naturally. After MVP kind of tells him like, hey, not only are you out of the Hurt Syndicate, but if you do win this match against Hangman, Bobby Lashley will be on your ass like grass. Meaning that most likely win or lose this open challenge, if you want to call it that, from MJF and Hangman, their kind of feud, Bobby Lashley is most likely going to get a title shot, and I think that the wrestling world is at a better place for that. Last match of the night, we get MJF versus Mark Briscoe. We them boys! Mark Briscoe is such a fucking hooper, bro. He goes out there, again, one of the hottest faces in AEW right now. He puts on a fucking wrestling clinic, bro. I honestly thought he was going to go over for most of this match, but he does take a pretty nasty spot through a table. I don't think that led to an audible at all, but I definitely think that the endurance and the exhaustion levels kind of started to wane in, just in a quote-unquote kayfabe kind of way after the table. MJF, he hits his signature apron pile driver. 1, 2, 3, he picks up the victory and he starts putting the beat down on Briscoe, man. These guys already don't like each other, and MJF is kind of being wound up from the whole Hurt Syndicate and Hangman thing, with him not really getting an exact title shot just yet. It's just more like a, hey, fuck off, like you're not getting anything from me, right? Hangman eventually comes out after, a first ring shot from MJF. MJF gears up to hit a second, and Hangman, they end up, Hangman and MJF essentially brawl. They brawl for like a good, 5 minutes straight. And it really was reminiscent of some like the old SmackDown and Raw episodes where two fucking rivals would just go out there, the entire locker room tries to pull them apart, and they just go out there and they just cook, they beat each other, they grab objects. It was good, man. It was good. They had a really interesting part where they get separated and then they rejoin and then they spill out into the crowd to kind of get away from security. I thought that was kind of interesting. MJF obviously ends up just kind of getting put onto the ramp. Hangman stays back, defending Mark Briscoe, and we are building towards all of our matches in Forbidden Door. There isn't a thing on this card that doesn't lead to a Forbidden Door. And the stories, man, the stories are tight. Everything makes sense. And you know what, guys? I'm gonna be honest. I can't think of anything I have an issue with on this match. I can't think of anything I have an issue with on this show. Everything's solid. It's tight. It's a solid it's tight. It's 2 hours. Nothing feels like it's unnecessary. Maybe the only thing I may have turned the Fatal 4-Way into a triple threat, maybe so everything just fits a little bit more cohesively. But I mean, I'm happy that we got to see Sky Blue. I'm happy that we got to see Queen of Minute. I'm happy that we got to see Alex Winslow, Billy Starks. They're amazing wrestlers, and I don't know. I always look for things to trash these shows about, guys. I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm gonna be fully transparent. I want to go in and I want to have a good time, but if something's bad, I want to address it immediately. And from Moxley all the way to Kyle Fletcher, and even leading into MJF and MVP, things just click on a story level, and I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I was fairly entertained. This was a good show. I feel like I haven't said something like that in a good at least a week, at least a week and a half or so. This is a good show, man. I'm looking forward to Collision. We're supposed to be getting some really good matches for that. It's going to be Saturday night. Thursday is today, so there will be a reaction for the One Piece channels. there will be a reaction for the One Piece panels going up very shortly. This was a review for AEW August 6th, 2025. It banged. It fucking banged, man. And I'm looking forward to the next one. All right, this is from Cappy D Bar. Stay tuned and stay beautiful. Peace, y'all.